Comics and powered by the Red 5 Network. For more, visit red5.bio.link. Happy Thursday. I knew I was forgetting something. It was the microphone. Good morning, guys. How are you? Water in hand, ready to dig in. It's Thursday. One more day before the weekend. And actually, my first meeting with Bo DeMaio is tomorrow, too. So, pretty anxious. Let's say good morning. But before we do, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and ring the notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm back. Even more nerdy nonsense. First up, good morning, nerdling, deranged lunatic. Good morning, Omari. Buenos dias, Fernando. Good morning, Music City Soul. And good morning, Dingus Den. Hello, Spencer. Oh my goodness. Now I'm yawning. I shouldn't be doing that. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. It's been a slow news week, y'all. It's been a slow news week, so there's not a whole lot to dig into. But we got a couple things. There's a couple things we can talk about while we're jamming. Fun fact, the name of this little background music you're hearing is from a song I made, a spoof, if you will, for my best friend, Amy. It's called Chicken Poofs. It's probably not what you think it is, but the name of the song is Chicken Poofs. Sorry. I just felt like I should finally tell you guys that you're bopping to Chicken Poofs. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, then you know I am a huge fan of the show From on MGM Plus, whatever they call their streaming service. From is kind of like a mixture of Lost and Silo, and possibly The Last of Us. I don't know. It's so crazy. It is a crazy, crazy show. It's so awesome. I still don't know what's really going on. I still don't know what's going on in this series. It's all these people end up in this ghost town. Okay. They're all driving down a road in different places of the country. And somehow they end up in this town. Like they see a downed tree and they can't get around it. They turn around to go back the other way. And they just keep driving through the same little ghost town. But at night, these weird, creepy people, like you can see one of them right here in the background, and they kill you, eat you, whatever. Yeah, it's crazy. We still know nothing really. Like, why are they there? What is this place? How are they getting there? Will they ever get out? What's going on? You don't know. So it's nice to know that the show is continuing. We're going to figure something out. Hopefully there's going to be some kind of information, but season 4 is finally in production. God, I hope it comes out soon because I need to know. It's just one of those shows where, like Severance, we really have no idea what's going on, but we love it. And that's how I am with From is creepy and suspenseful, entertaining, engrossing, absolutely fantastic writing, acting. The whole shebang. You should check it out. Omari says season 1 of Last of Us or season 2 of Last of Us, though. Ha! Season 1. I say Last of Us simply because of the weird, creepy zombie people. So maybe I'll take that back. I'd say it's like Silo and Lost, and there was something else that I watched and I was like, oh my God, this is very, like From, and I can't think of what it is. So, but anyway, check it out if you like stuff like Lost, where you're only getting small bits of information at a time, kind of stringing you along. And it's kind of like doing a puzzle while watching a show. Just really good, really good. You should check it out. You should. Guys, it's going to be miserable hot today in Southeast Missouri. I'm talking 100 degrees with 95% humidity. I will be growing ferns out of my armpits and under my taters. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to grow ferns out of all my bends. It's going to be awful. So pray for us. We are not okay. We're not okay. Dingus Den talking about The Last of Us. I could not stand season 2. Only lasted 1 episode. I watched the whole season and it was boring. It was so boring. So boring. It was just not good. The whole season felt like filler episodes. Kind of like how Daredevil Born Again felt for me. Not Daredevil Born Again was nowhere near as boring as The Last of Us season 2. I like the first couple episodes of Daredevil, but the whole thing felt like filler or setup, prologue for season 2. Season 2 of Last of Us just felt like filler. Filler. So, anywho, check out From. It's in production. Season 4 in production. Now, so stoked. Love this show. Definitely one of the things I look forward to most on streaming right now. Remember when we used to say on television? This is my favorite thing on television right now. My, how times have changed. Good morning, Patty. Good morning, dear. And just so you guys know, Ollie is right here. He's staring at me from his room. It's this basket we've got set up for him, and we call it his room. And he's just like, I'm napping while staring at you. Dingus Den says he only lasted 1 episode with Born Again as well. We'll get back to it. Possibly my next show. The first couple of episodes I thought were great. The opening scene of the whole season was just banger. And then I was about 4 or 5 episodes in and I was like, wait a minute, is this season already almost over? Feels like it just started. Like nothing's happened, I feel like. So, good morning, Truth. It's like you got like a spidey tingle of when I'm getting ready to talk something DC or Superman. Good morning, Science Fictionary Podcast. What is up indeed? Are you okay down there in the South? I mean, seriously, if we're having 100-degree weather with 95% humidity, I can only imagine the South right now, like 100% humidity, 125% humidity. Good morning, Taco Cat. What's up? All right, guys. So the embargo is going to be on for like another week, I think, for Superman. But there was a special screening last night, a press screening. Not just press screening, because I saw some randos on Twitter got invited. Like people who don't even review or critique. It's super weird to me. It's really weird. Like, how come I'm not getting screenings? Like, Oh well, not that worried about it. Anywho, there was a screening last night. The embargo's on for about another week, and they signed NDAs, but there have been some little tidbits coming out. Like, they can't be specific or anything, but they're all kind of saying the same thing. Superman is being described as a live action episode of Superman, the animated series. It's very Silver Age. It's got a lot of those sci-fi tropes. It's big in spectacle, drama, laughs, big in its heart, a very earnest films. And that's kind of what I'm hearing across the board. You know, they can't really give you a full review right now because of the NDAs. But I've seen like, y'all will be seated, or just wow. People are really, really loving it. I'm not hearing anything to the contrary at all. You never watched Superman the animated series? That is an absolute staple of nerds of my generation. I'm just saying. That and Batman the animated series, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Stop this stream right now and go watch it. Thank you. You have your orders. Truth says, send Gunn a nude selfie for a special screening access. Didn't take. Maybe you're just not his type. You know? I'm sorry. Dingiston says, I watched that Brainiac movie. Did you? Did you? But I've heard, and I've been hearing this for a while, the whole Superman the Animated Series was a big influence, as was Smallville, starring Tom Welling. A lot of people feel like this is the next chapter in that. So, good news. I'm excited to see Superman. I am. I've got my ticket. I will be going July 10th. Got my ticket for Fantastic Four too, but oh my God, Spencer, I can't handle you right now. How did you miss all of that and Smallville? How? How? No more reviewing for you until you watch Smallville. At least. Smallville is a requirement, sir. You have your orders. You have your orders. I can't help you if you don't watch them. I can't help you. Just saying. Correct yourself before you wreck yourself. That's right. I changed it. I changed it. We are also hearing that Angela Serafian has been cast as Lara L, Superman's mama. So it's Bradley Cooper and Angela Serafian as the L's, parents of Superman. So there's that. You might recognize her from Westworld. She was wonderful in that. I loved Westworld up until probably the last season, and I was like, okay, I think you've lost me. Can we go back to it being a theme park and the robots revolting? I liked that. The last one was just kind of like, okay. Okay. So there's that. The next Thor project is oh wait. No. We got more Superman stuff. Either flashbacks to Krypton, or it's all in the Fortress of Solitude information bank in the computer. I don't know yet, but we've been told emphatically this is not an origin story that has been done to death. So if it's not simple flashbacks, then I'm gonna bet that it's Fortress of Solitude computer. I'd put money on that. I would, because I know I know that Bradley Cooper, I know I just called him Brad. It's not like I know him personally. Let me go text Brad. What's up, Brad? Anyway, I know that he is, Jor-El's hologram in the Fortress of Solitude. So it is possible that there's one of Lara too. The old Trunks debate. Good morning, Nerdling First Class Backyard TARDIS. It is your lucky day. It's your lucky day. Because in about 15 minutes, my breakdown of DC Comics The Question finally drops. It finally drops. I hope that was loud enough. Anyway, it finally drops. It's been on Patreon since Wednesday night. So if you didn't catch it there, bud, because you are the right tier, you are Nerdling First Class. You can watch it today on YouTube in 15 minutes. Truth. Don't let Guy Gardner see Clark's mom. My Lord. Yeah, she's a lovely lady. But back to this, the whole Trunks thing. Good morning, Maria. Good morning. The costume designer for Superman, Juliana. Some of these names are so hard, which is crazy because I have a very impronounceable last name. Juliana Makovisk. Juliana Makovisk reveals that the final decision to wear Trunks was not made until the night before they started filming. So this was literally 11th hour decision. Ay, Dios mío, the entire article that has this information is in Espanol, and me habla español muy poquito. So, no me gusta. No me gusta because I can't translate all of that. So, basically, they had two costumes made and ready to go. And it wasn't until the night before that they were like, you know what? We're doing the Trunks. This comes from omelet.com.br. So if you want to read it in Espanol, if you can, comprehend all that, go right ahead. But again, me habla español muy poquito. So that's interesting. So they were going back and forth on the Trunks thing right up until filming started. That's crazy. I believe it though is a hot debate. Very hot debate. Spencer says now he wants an omelet. I had poached eggs for breakfast. Farm fresh poached eggs. Pulled them out of the coop myself with herbs I grew myself. Very satisfying. Totally free breakfast. High protein. Anywho, I like the choice to go back to Trunks. I do. I am a Trunks lover. I think the suit looks cool. And I believe, and I very well could be wrong, it's been known to happen upon rare occasions. I believe there's going to be a different suit at the end of the film. Happens a lot. I could be wrong, but I think there's going to be a new suit at the end of the film. Maria says, I was on team no Trunks. I like the classics, though. Dinguson, embrace the Silver Age. Gotta love the classics. Gotta love it. So we shall see. Of course, It's all going to come down to final product when we actually get to see it in its entirety in action. Truth. What about the Superman mullet? We need that. You mean the post Doomsday when Superman comes back? I've never been a real big fan of the mullet. My dad had a mullet all through the 80s and early 90s. Wasn't a huge fan of it then either. He was very, very proud of his hair, though, let me tell you. Maria says, everything needs to be changed for the new era. What do you mean by that? I need you to elaborate. What do you mean by changed for the new era? Because them's could be fighting words for a lot of people. You could start a war with that phrase, Maria. I'm just saying. There's a lot of traditionalists out there that'd be like, how dare you? All right, guys. Good morning, Loki. Please stop telling me about the new clips and trailers. That reminds me, I would like to, and I'm going to put my whole face, please. I'm begging you. Please stop sending me clips. Please stop telling me about clips. Please stop showing me all the new things that have been released about Superman, because I have enough expectation. I'm at the level of expectation I want to be at, which is as little as possible. I mean, I'm excited, but still, I want to go in as clean of a slate as I possibly can to really take in this film and this day and age. Pardon me. Oh my gosh. This day and age of social media, it even subconsciously, it plants ideas in your head or opinions or whatever. And I want to go in as surprised as I possibly can. But people still keep sending me new trailers, new clips, new information, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, thank you so much for thinking of me. But please stop about Superman and Fantastic Four. I want to go in as blank as I possibly can, so I have every opportunity to go in, I guess, untainted by other people's opinions. I know, okay, I should be strong enough in my own convictions to be able to form those opinions despite outside influence or what have you, but this is just my process, okay? It's my process. Please respect my process. Pardon me. Loki says, mine was a joke about the dialogue. See, I don't know. I'm not in on the joke because I've been avoiding it like the plague. I don't want to, nothing else. No more. Penny says, my daughter is trying to grow my 4-year-old grandson's hair out into a mullet. Do you have any idea how many mullets I have cut? A few years ago, it became extremely popular among high school boys, especially ones who played baseball or wanted to look like baseball players. And then, the country boys got real into it. My son wanted a mullet for a while. I've cut so many mullets, and it made me so sad every single time. I even had this older woman. She never grew out of her mullet phase. That was the first mullet I ever cut, was on this woman. I had to perm it and I had to cut it. It was a straight up mullet every time. Yes, but what part are we revamping for modern times? Because there's certain things, in my opinion, you really just can't change. Like the man said, you don't tug on Superman's cape. I don't think like Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman, characters like that, Spider-Man, I think their costumes, uniforms, whatever you want to call them, should be largely left alone. because that's them. That's who they are. That's what makes them recognizable. You don't change the recipe for apple pie. Apple pie's been pretty much the same recipe for a century or more. Superman's kind of the same way, you know. Wonder Woman, Batman, you start changing things about them. Where's the line? Where does it stop? Where does it stop? Okay. So if you watched WandaVision and the scene where Vision's talking to White Vision and he's talking about the ship, what's the true ship? You know, you start removing things and replacing them. Is it even that ship anymore? It's kind of like that to me. That's my opinion. Backyard TARDIS says, I would say Superman, the animated series, and the rest of DCAU before Smallville, but Smallville is good. There you go, Spencer. There's your assignment. I will watch Megan 2.0. I will watch it. I actually enjoyed the first one. I surprised myself with that. I watched it while I was in Florida a couple years ago. I enjoyed it. I will watch Megan 2.0. Backyard TARDIS, the question breakdown actually dropped before it did. I thought it really. I thought it dropped at 11 a.m. I'll have to check on that because absolutely thought I set the time for a different time. Yeah, wow. That dropped at 10 a.m. That is absolutely crazy. Didn't know that. I thought it was supposed to drop like now. See, I don't even know my own time zone. I don't even know my own time zone. Isn't that crazy? Because usually I like to throw a little extra stank on it to help get some attention out there. Let's try this. And away we go. All right. Well, I will be promoting that when we get done. Fernando says, always thought mullets look weird. See, how chaotic are my streams? One comment, we're talking about mullet. Good morning, Brogu. Good morning. Good morning. Dingistan says, definitely get not wanting to watch clips and features and short ads right now before the movie drops. I'm the same way. I get it. It started with my dad, and I mentioned this before. I remember very, very vividly when Terminator 2 came out. If a trailer came on TV for Terminator 2, he would leave the room or turn the TV off. He'd go, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. That's where that started. And now it's that, and you get influenced, whether you recognize it or not. You get influenced, and I want to be me. I want my opinions, my feelings, everything to be 100% from myself. Entirely. Backyard TARDIS says, I'm Team Trunks because it doesn't look right without it. I agree with you. It looks weird. It looks super weird. Good morning, Patricia. I was playing with a lightsaber last night. I was. Truth says, would Adam Driver make a good question casting? No. I'm going to say no. Mm-mm. Let's see. I'd have to think about that. I would definitely have to think about who would make a good Vic Sage. Let's see. Are crew cuts still a thing? Yes, they are. Done a lot of those. A lot of those. I worked at Sport Clips too for a while before I opened my salon. So, lot of those. All right, guys. Apparently Supergirl, see, this is that omelet.com. Supergirl was never originally going to be the second DCU film. He said, I didn't necessarily know that Supergirl would be the second movie we would make, but Anna wrote an amazing script. And so we hired an amazing director, and we will make this movie after Superman because he was the best option. Other movies were written, but they weren't as good as this one. So let's continue with the rhythm. Everything has to be good. Quality comes first in every project we do. And this is more important than telling a great mega narrative. Agree. Good call. That sorry. This is the article again, omelet.com.br. It also says, regarding James Gunn's direction of the DCU with its scripts, I will never sacrifice the present for the future. Everything will always be about the history that is ahead of us. That's the most important thing. We won't give the green light to movies without ready-made scripts. We have basic plans for what happens in the universe. But if something doesn't work, pardon me, if something doesn't work out as we want, then it will change. We have movies and series that surprised us. So he's doubling down on quality over quantity, and everything has to fit smoothly. See, again, I like him as a filmmaker. but not as a mouthpiece. Sucks as a mouthpiece. For sure. My phone is going off like crazy. What is going on? Someone go tell Ro from the Scarab Scuttlebutt podcast. We're live, Ro. We're live. Stop testing me, man. All right, guys. Thor 5 is currently in production. Or it's being in development. Pardon me. I misspoke. Thor 5 is in development. And it is titled Thor Quest. Could be tentative. But right now it's called Thor Quest. Can we all just take a moment to be grateful that Taika Waititi is not in charge of this one? Even Chris Hemsworth has come out to say that, yeah, I got caught up in that, and we don't want to go through that again. Good for him. Good for him. Yeah, I need to know their thought process behind this. Again, normally these films, they have tentative titles, so I'm assuming that's what's going on here. Science Fictionary says, I just want to know who the director is. Do we think it's George Miller? I think it's George Miller. They're throwing his name around a lot. Do we think this is going to be Chris Hemsworth's final appearance as Thor? Do we think it's going to be his last Thor movie? He's getting close to 50. That's another thing. How long can these actors, logistically speaking, keep playing these roles? And do we want to keep seeing them? Because the MCU with the Avengers stuff has just become the same thing over and over again. Are we tired of that? I think the writers might be, considering the quality in writing, but Beau DeMaio has a lot to say about all of that. He has a lot to say about what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to writers and such. We're going to talk about that next week. Been a while since that's happened. I clicked to put Science Fictionary's comment up and it removed me from the stream. That's nice. Thanks, StreamYard. Gonna have a talk about that later. Science Fictionary Podcast says it's really a matter of what Hemsworth wants. They can always transition him to more of an Odin type role. True. Very true. That's very true. Brogu says, there comes a time where some of these actors have to let these roles go. It's time to get out of the sandbox and let other people play. Tell that to Hugh Jackman. Wesley Snipes. Crazy, right? But the Blade issue goes way deeper than we realize. Another thing we're going to be talking about next week. But yeah, it's kind of like the issue my generation had with boomers. They don't want to retire. They don't want to let go of anything. So Fernando says, we were okay with the original Star Wars cast being around until old age. True. Slightly different situation. They didn't return for like 40 years. They did 3 movies, a horrible holiday special, and were out of the picture for almost 40 years. And then when they brought them back, look how they treated Luke and Han. I mean, even Leia. They got rid of them so quickly and so rudely. See, that's what Loki's saying. Yeah, how'd that work out? Not great. They could have brought them back as older and kept them around a little bit, at least treated them with a bit more respect. But the difference is this Avengers cast has done, how many movies do we have now in the MCU? Like 40 something movies? And how many series? It's a bubble that's burst is the problem. They overdid it. They forgot the absolute first rule in basic economics. You don't want to flood the market. It waters down the value of your product. Dingus Den holiday special is a masterpiece of crap. You have no idea how excited I was when that circus showed up in Skeleton Crew. You have no idea. I made art. I made graphics for it for the Etsy store. Harrison probably did want to die. Harrison, will you be returning as a Force Ghost? What's a Force Ghost? I don't care. God, I love Harrison Ford. Loki says the passing of the torch only works when the audience accepts the new people. And it really is the burden of the filmmakers, the director, the writer to make the audience accept and like the new people. If you make them unlikable and you don't give us an emotional attachment, if you don't give us that connection, investment, the emotional investment in those new people, we're not going to care. And they did not do that with Ray Palpatine at all. Yeah, Arnie's done. He's done. He's almost 80 years old and it's really visible now. He's older. It doesn't work anymore. He's poor guy. Not poor guy. He's rich as hell and happy with his life, but he's done with that stuff. I mean, they used CGI the last time with the other models, the younger models. Like, I think that was his kind of his bye-bye on that one. But yeah, we should be okay with elderly actors retiring or stepping down or cutting back. We should be okay with that. Listen, have you gotten older? I'm going to be 45 in September and I feel it, man. I could only imagine what it would be like to be 80 something years old and have the world on my shoulders pressuring me to continue to work 12 to 20-hour days. I absolutely could not imagine. I would be so tired and in so much pain. And so, no, we are meant to enjoy our golden years. And I know that that should absolutely extend to people in the entertainment industry. That's not fair. That's not right. They should be allowed to enjoy their golden years too, whatever that looks like, as long as it's not harming anyone. Like, let them put their feet up and chill by the pool or take a nap, play with their grandkids, a puppy, anything. But I worked on my feet up to 16 hours a day for over 20 years. And I there's no way in hell I could do that now at almost 45 years old. I can't imagine if I was like 60 plus and people expecting me to do that. To me, to me, um, to me, it's a selfish thing to want these people to keep working throughout their golden years. They're human beings too. They're tired, they're old, their bodies are degrading just like everyone else's. And why keep making them do it? Because we want to continue to see this one person play this one character. I don't think that's right. Like with the Henry Cavill thing, he's got a whole thing going on that he's super pumped about with Voltron and Warhammer and Highlander. He's a dad now. He's grilling every Sunday. He is so happy with his life. I don't think he would change a friggin' thing. He's got other things going on. And he's almost 50. So let's let them live the lives they want to live. Like when I see these Snyder cult people constantly hammering on about we need to bring back the original trinity of Ben Affleck as Batman, Henry Cavill as Superman, and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Henry is happy with he's working on his opus right now with Warhammer, his nerdy opus. Ben Affleck has said several times in a GQ article, I don't ever want to do another superhero movie again. Yeah, the internet's really bad. I need to get this fixed. We should probably wrap this up. But um yeah, it's my internet. Thank you, Spectrum. Thank you so much, Spectrum. But Ben Affleck has said he's uncomfortable in the suits. It's almost painful. He doesn't want to do it anymore. He does not want to do superhero movies ever again. Henry Cavill's moved on to Warhammer. Gal Gadot's doing her thing, and she's got enough shit to worry about right now, especially with 4 kids. That I can entirely relate to. That's a lot of work. So constantly hammer on about it and say you're going to have these big grandstand. Okay, let's just move on to James Bond because and I have tried to call out to someone in my house to like check something for me and nobody's answering me. So, sorry, let's just move on to James Bond. Okay. So, Amazon has announced via social media that Denis Villeneuve of Dune fame will be directing the new Bond film. Okay, sorry. No, yeah, Ollie, get to work, Ollie. Go check out the internet, Ollie. Gosh, I keep singing to him and he won't clean or plug in internet stuff or whatever. Silly birds. Silly birds. Back of the tower, hun. So we're going to try something else and see if this works. So Denis Villeneuve, whom you're familiar with the Dune franchise and other films like Arrival. Man, I loved Arrival. I loved Arrival. Blade Runner 2049, Sicario. It's also saying he's working on a Cleopatra film, so that's crazy. But I really loved Arrival. Arrival's great. It's complex, complicated, emotional. Oh man, that movie is good. Anyway, I love the Dune films. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. So Denis Villeneuve will direct the next James Bond film, but I'm hearing some unsettling things like Aaron Pierre being a top runner for the titular role of James Bond. Can we stop doing that, please? And I think that maybe one of the reasons that that keeps coming out is that marketing stomach flu I always mention. I think they do that shit on purpose because it gets people talking about it. A controversy, it gets them talking about it. It keeps it relevant, keeps it viral. So, my top pick, Dave's top pick for James Bond has always been Henry Cavill. I think that would be a great next step for him. I mean, after Warhammer and everything else, Henry Cavill is our top pick for that. Tom Hardy is definitely on that list. I have shown Dave Aaron Taylor Johnson because for the most part, he doesn't really know actor names. He knows Henry Cavill and Tom Hardy, but that's basically it. But I've showed him Aaron Taylor Johnson. He was like, "Oh no, not that guy." Dave is my resident expert on James Bond. He has been obsessed with James Bond since he was a very, very small child. He knows James Bond like I know Wonder Woman. So I trust him entirely with that. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson would be okay, but I think Henry Cavill or Tom Hardy would be way better, in my opinion. And Dave was like, no, it's an Aaron Taylor Johnson. Um, but that's that thing, you know, you don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't go messing with it. You don't go messing with the recipe. It's already cooked. It's already baked. It's already there for your consumption. All you gotta do is follow the recipe. That's all you gotta do. Brogu says, I think they're going to pick the wrong person to play James Bond. Aaron Taylor Johnson would not be a great James Bond. Henry Cavill has shown to be that type of a person. And The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Absolutely. He was wonderful in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Hey, good morning, Jacob. How was the move? How's the new house? That's amazing. Good morning. Thank you for coming. I think Michael Fassbender would be a good Bond. Yeah. I mean, he's Irish, but British Isles. I mean, no, he's actually Irish, not Northern Irish. So, but still, that's in the general vicinity. I don't know. I'm not British and I'm of Irish descent, not like actually Irish. So I feel like I can't really make that judgment call. But I think Michael Fassbender would be a very interesting Bond. He'd be good. But I'm gonna say Henry Cavill's my top choice. Maria says, I love Tom Hardy, but he's too old. We need to start with the fresh with a younger actor. I'm hearing rumors, speaking of that, I'm hearing rumors that they're looking at Tom Holland. Tom Holland is becoming like Pedro Pascal and Walton Goggins. He's in everything. He's everywhere, everywhere. But he is a good actor. There's a reason for that. Loki says Bond actors have been Scottish, British, Irish, Welsh, and Australian. Correct. And actually, the Australian George Lazenby is my favorite Bond. It's my favorite Bond movie on Her Majesty's Secret Service. That's a great one. Love him. And they offered him like $2 million cash literally under the table. And he was like, to do a second one, he was like, no thanks. The fame was not for me. The George Lazenby story is a crazy one. And if you have time, you should check out the documentary on it because it's wild. Absolutely wild. But yeah, Tom Hardy's getting up there too. I think he's older than Henry, and he shows it. You know, he's getting more and more rugged looking. Oh, I love a rugged man. Anyway, yeah, that's why he's number 2 for me. Henry's my top choice. Top tippity top. And now, thanks to Jacob, Michael Fassbender is on that list. I could totally see that. I do have some concerns because this is going to be the first time that the Broccoli family has zero control. They don't own it anymore. They sold it to Amazon, and that's a kind of a terrifying thought. Amazon, of all places, it's like selling it to McDonald's. Brogu says, Tom Holland? You've got to be kidding me, Danny. If they pick Tom Holland to be James Bond, there's no hope for humanity at this point. Well, they're saying what I read, in this grain of salt, okay? Again, I said this was rumor. What I read was that the rumor is they're wanting to go with a younger Bond. Someone that they can last, you know? So, but that was always kind of the great thing about the Bond franchise, similar to Doctor Who. You could tell these stories infinitum because you would just change the actor every few movies. There's so many Bonds. So many. Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig. I think he did the most, but of course Sean Connery. He's the originator. But George Lazenby, woo, loved him. Maria says, I just noticed Tom Hardy was the villain in that Star Trek movie. Yes. Okay, so funny story. He was Picard's clone. He was cloned by the Romulans, and that was his first movie. And he was very nervous. He would stay in like his dressing room when he wasn't filming. He was just terrified. My dear friend, Brian Syke, worked on that film. And one night we were talking, he was telling me about all the Star Trek movies he's done. And I'm like, God, I'm a big Star Trek fan. I can't believe you've done this. Like, this is so cool. And he tells me he worked on Star Trek Nemesis. So I'm like, oh my God, Brian, you worked on Tom Hardy's first movie. And he's like, was he in that? I said, yeah, he was the antagonist. He was the main antagonist. He was the bad guy for the film. And he's like, oh, I didn't even know he was in that movie. So now we have this joke where anytime I find a picture of Tom Hardy, I'll send it to him. And it's kind of like John Cena. He's like, I don't see anything. There's nothing there. But yeah. Deranged Lunatic says, well, Pedro Pascal is the new face of masculinity. Didn't you know? No, I did not know that. To me, the new face of masculinity is my lover face in the other room. Brogu says, Tom Holland looks so young. He can't even grow peach fuzz, let alone a beard. Omari says, to be fair, how many people remember Star Trek Nemesis? Listen, when I went and saw that movie, I saw it in the theater, and I was just, when I saw Tom Hardy's performance, I just knew we were going to be seeing a lot more of him. You can see his ability and charisma in that film. It comes right through. He was fantastic in it. I knew we were going to see a lot more of him. Backyard TARDIS says, I get younger Bond, but you don't want Bond to get carded. I always tease Dave that James Bond's like the worst spy. He tells everyone who he is. Bond. James Bond. MI6. 007. And he'll always be like, yeah. That's how good he is. It doesn't matter. Loki says, I found Nemesis to be okay. I'm not a Trek guy, though. Rogu says, I remember Star Trek Nemesis, and I thought Tom Hardy was great. Exactly. You could tell right away. You could see it right away that he was going to do big things. He was going to be around a while. He's a great actor. But Denis Villeneuve, set to direct the new James Bond. I have every confidence in Villeneuve as a director. Do we think he can handle it? I think he can. He has proven himself as a director. Our only concern now is who is going to be James Bond. And I've so many big actors, even actresses, have come out and said, you cannot mess with Bond. You can't. You can't. He's based on an actual, he's inspired by an actual legendary British hero. You cannot mess with Bond. You just can't. With that said, if you have any questions, comments, emotional outbursts, leave it in the chat below. We are wrapping things up. Do me a huge, huge favor and help support the channel. The easiest and freest way to do that is simply by hitting that like button, subscribing if you're new, and ringing the notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm back with even more of this nerdy nonsense. When we're done, go check out my new breakdown of DC Comics The Question. I had to record it twice because I lost all the footage, and it's taken me forever because he is a crazy, complicated conspiracy theorist character. And it took a lot of writing to try and piece it together, like how I wanted to present it. It took forever. Was a request by Nerdling First Class Backyard TARDIS member, or Nerdling First Class in the Nerdling Army, over on my Patreon. So if you are a member of the official Nerdling Army, you can request breakdowns like that. You can. So just go to patreon.com/comics, and you get exclusive merch every 3 months, the exclusive chat, outtakes behind the scenes, ask me anything, sneak peeks. We have 3 tiers starting as little as $3 a month. Check it out right now. Get your own breakdown just for you. Yes. And I have some outtakes and stuff, some involving Ollie. Ollie does make an appearance in the breakdown also, but I got some outtakes that I need to whip up and put up on the Patreon from the question video, and probably some from the Maria Sandoval interview. Those are kind of embarrassing, but anyway, if you would like to help support the channel in other ways, do me a huge solid. If you scan that QR code in the that upper hand corner right there, it'll take you to buymeacoffee.com/comics, and you comics and MUA, sorry. You can tip me as little or as much as you like, and you can help me get a new computer. Because if I don't get a new computer before October, this stream is officially over with. Done. Because this computer cannot handle Windows 11. And as of October, Windows 10 will no longer exist. Therefore, my computer will be a paperweight. So if you'd like to help with that, keep the stream running, Go to buymeacoffee.com/comicsandmua. You can also go to Cash App. You can do so through Cash App, joining the Nerdling Army as we discussed, or checking out my merch store at comicsandcosmetics.etsy.com, or one of my many affiliate links, which, by the way, everything is in the description down below, and it's also all on my website, comicsand.squarespace.com, as is a gallery of all my cosmetic looks, the beauty cosmetic looks, the special effects looks, all that stuff. It's all there, all my reviews, everything. This podcast is also powered by the Red 5 Network. That's right. We look good in red. We look fabulous in red. We are a collective of exclusively nerdy podcasters and content creators here to educate and entertain you. So if you like this podcast, chances are you are going to enjoy more of what the Red 5 Network has to offer you. So check out red5.bio.link today to discover more of the Red 5 Network. F1, have not seen it yet. It's not exactly my wheelhouse, but I'll probably watch it because it's Dave's wheelhouse. And I will let you know what I think. Deranged Lunatic says, check out the movie Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. That group of men inspired the James Bond franchise. Absolutely. Henry Cavill has already played the man that inspired Bond. He should play Bond. I'm just saying. Jacob says, Danny, the house is great. Still moving odds and ends. Best thing so far is I got FiberNet and I have no more lag with my voice. Dang it, I'm jealous. I live out in the country. No fiber net here. No fiber net here. Here. All right, guys. That's all I got for you today. I've been Danny. You've been awesome. And I will see you tomorrow morning, Friday, for your daily dose of dork. Until then, be kind to one another. Go check out my breakdown for the question. And keep your eyes peeled because
Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you.